Well, we're not going to quite get through Joshua this week, but today, 2 more chapters, chapters 20 and 21. Here we're talking about the cities of refuge and cities and towns for the Levites. Now, these things have been talked about already. Exodus chapter 21 and Numbers chapter 35, cities of refuge were talked about by Moses. And now they're becoming a reality. Again, if there was an accidental death, the killer, the one who inflicted the injuries that accidentally killed someone, could run to safety to one of these cities of refuge so fair judgment or discernment could be made before the dead person's family, clan, tribe would or could enact justice, in their mind, vengeance. The principle that was kind of operating here was eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Yet the killer still had to live in that city of refuge until the high priest passed away. Essentially, it's a cooling off period. It's time for, this again, if it was an accident, there would have been a trial. And it's like, no, it was an accident. But the person who was responsible, or at least the accidental killer, still had to live in that city because it was a place of protection, of safety, of solid sanctuary. And so then the clan of the person who had died, they could grieve, they could get through that and understand, okay, it was an accident. They could come to accept that, and that desire for vengeance would have time to dissipate. That's the idea. The Levites, we also see, are spread out throughout the nation, more than just these 6 cities of refuge. And so most people in Israel would have only been maybe about like a day's travel at most away from a Levitical settlement. And so this is a tribe responsible for the tabernacle and then at the temple. They were the ones who would be most diligent to know the law, which at this point, we're dealing with the first 5 books that we've just kind of finished looking through over this past little over a half year, Genesis to Deuteronomy. And so they'd also be well suited to help the rest of the nation know what the law said and how to apply it. The dynamic I want to just draw to us is the fulfillment of God's promises here. I mean, this almost kind of reads like, boom, it happened. But the fulfillment of the people entering the land was well over a generation. In fact, it goes back even further, back to Abraham. We're talking about 500 years from when God said to Abraham, your descendants are going to go to Egypt until the sin of the Canaanites is complete, and then I will bring your descendants back, and they will occupy this land that I have promised you. God's promise was given about 500 years earlier, and here we see it being fulfilled. How patient are we for God's promises? I have to admit, there's times where I pray, and I'm like, I want the answer now. I want the answer tomorrow. Or we pray for something that just feels so obviously like it should be, that it is God's desire. And we don't see a result. 500 years. Generations of slaves in Egypt would have been praying, God, send us a rescuer. God, we remember this promise you gave to our ancestor Abraham. When are you going to deliver us? I have problems waiting a day. Yeah. How patient are we? What we're called to be as we wait is faithful. To continue to trust. That means to continue to pray. That means continue to follow Jesus, to love God and love others, even when we're not seeing even our deepest prayers fulfilled yet. It's why we need each other. Because some days we just need to be reminded from someone else that God is faithful and he will fulfill all his promises. As you wait, as I wait, as we wait for things like a lockdown to be over, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious to you. And today, would you know his peace? God bless.